My name is Father Dominic from the Dominican Order, and I am what you call a sacred artist. But in the line of Fra Angelico. And one privilege of being a sacred artist in the line of Fra Angelico, there has not been a Dominican for 700 years who's been able to pick up Fra Angelico's project and been able to reveal it back to the church. And one of Fra Angelico's projects is to bring heaven on earth, to reveal to us that heaven has truly come on earth. And one privilege I have as a sacred artist is I spend most of my time in heaven painting on gold, which is a great privilege because you get to see a world not confined by limitations, but a freedom. And this is the same world that St. Catherine of Siena was born into, and she acted very differently even from the moment she was born as a child. Her first encounter would have been with the Holy Eucharist, and for this she thirsted for the Eucharist day in and day night. She also had a great devotion to the Dominicans. So she would hide behind the bush as Dominicans would pass the path on the way to the church. She was so enamored by them because they were founded for one reason alone, for the salvation of souls of all mankind. And for that, as soon as they would pass, she would go kiss the footsteps of where they had placed their feet on that path. She was very different. And she was very privileged too, in that because of her interior life, it really opened her to the belief that she had a personal encounter with God the Father, where he revealed to her many truths. He told her that he could actually shine a light through a window where she would receive all this knowledge that he wanted to give to her. But instead, he was going to teach her with words. And this is the book of what we call the dialogues. It's not any different from the Gospels, but it does reveal a beautiful plan that God has for us. It reveals to us that we are free and we are not enslaved. And this is one of her greatest themes, is on freedom. She writes this: "Those who are master of themselves have become a master of the world, for they neither fear nor care about anything except the things of God, who they love and serve." Again, she writes, He is so kind to serve him is more than to reign, than to be his servant. God makes all his servants kings and queens, free lords and ladies, for he has freed them from slavery to the devil and from the servitude to the perverse tyranny in the world. To have a friend like this is very rare. If you would have met her, she's one of these people who believed that she could actually walk on water. She believed she could actually reform the church and had access to the Pope, which is unbelievable at this time. For a woman to have access to the Pope was unheard of, but she believed. And actually, it would probably be easier to walk on water than it was to reform the church. However, this reforming the church played into one of her biggest themes, and it was the reforming of the individual. She believed in spiritual growth. She believed that all the grace was in the Eucharist for us, to give us the grace that we need to become like superhumans, to become free, to become in love with the one who's so madly in love with us. And she herself takes that up and walks through the world. And though people never saw her pray, she was always at prayer. she was always in communication with God. And she was always being transformed by him. And at the same time, she believed that she was given the grace to transform others, including the reformation of the church, the reforming of the church. Today, she reveals to us that what matters for us is really on the inside, is to believe that with God all things are possible, to give him everything, to have no attachments. And the only thing that God looks for us is a desire to give him everything, to work miracles in our lives, and also to work miracles in the lives of others that we bring into this Mass. That's what he wants, is for us to desire it. And then all the power and grace is on him to do what he gives us to desire. Let us pray for those graces as we receive the Holy Eucharist. Let us give him permission to transform our lives. And one thing that St. Catherine reveals to us is we all have a special place, a special plan, a special marked life in this church to carry out. And where we get it is in this most holy Mass, every time you receive the Eucharist. Let us pray for those graces. Let us pray for, especially for all those who are in darkness and who are in most need of God's mercy, who are enslaved. And let us pray that our hearts may be free as we celebrate this most holy Mass. In the name of the Father, Son,